Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Rue News. I'm Abby Higginbotham, and we here at Rue News are happy to be back after a long hiatus to continue bringing you the news from around campus and Kansas City every Tuesday. As you can see, our setup is slightly different. I'm currently being quarantined in Johnson dorms on campus, so the background might be a little bit different from here on out. We here at Rue News are devoted to bringing the news, even in the light of the current coronavirus pandemic. We hope you all are staying safe and practicing social distancing. With that, let's jump right into this week's top stories. Chancellor Agrawal announced that a UMKC student has tested positive for COVID-19. The student, who does not live on campus, is being treated in isolation. Agrawal said that the university is working closely with the public health officials who will reach out to those who have been in contact with the individual and help those found to be at risk. Now with the spread of coronavirus growing more and more every day, campus is closed down for the time being. Residential halls are also closed, yet continue to house international students, resident assistants, and students who need to stay. Recently, campus has decided to move all remaining students living in residential halls to Johnson Hall. This decision was made with a plan to turn Hospital Hill and Oak Street into overflow for the hospitals in Kansas City if need be. Some residents, though, were not too happy about this last-minute move. Here is reporter Haley Sakuma with more.
I'm Haley Sakuma, and I'm here with Rue News with Kritika Selvaraju, an international student from Singapore, and we're here to talk about her experience as an international student and living on campus amidst COVID-19. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too, thank you. All right, so can you just sort of give us a rundown of what it's been like amidst all of this madness? Where do you live? What's happening with relocation? All of that.
Okay, so from fall 19 till about last week, I lived at Hospital Hill in a single apartment. However, with COVID-19, all the students who have been granted permission to stay on campus due to various reasons, such as being an international student, are being relocated to Johnson Hall. So that is where I'll be spending the rest of the semester. And for the summer, as of now, there are no definite plans.
And how has that sort of impacted you, your life as a student, and just sort of navigating where all of this is going to go?
As a student, there's definitely a lot of anxiety because you don't really know if you're going to have a place to stay. So it definitely was a little bit nerve-wracking spending spring break, not knowing my room assignment or not being able to move in as quickly as I wanted to.
Okay, Crit, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for sitting down with me virtually and discussing this topic. I hope you stay well and healthy.
Thank you. Same goes to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Haley. UMKC continues to try and keep students informed and make sure that they have the best quality of education, even though all classes have moved online. UMKC announced that they will have various virtual opportunities for students involving Office of Student Development, Campus Recreation, Multicultural Student Affairs, and the Women's Center. These online activities are being implemented to ensure students still feel connected. Within the campus-wide email announcement, they also included resources to help center academic support and mentoring for students who need tutoring, and the writing studio, also other assistance. I sat down with SGA President-elect Brandon Henderson to talk about his plan for the university and the coronavirus impacts on the campus and campaign. Hi, Brandon. Thank you for coming on the show today. Also, congratulations on your SGA presidential win. So how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, so thanks for inviting me to speak again, Abby. I mean, at first, I was kind of in shock, as I'm sure anybody who saw the results could probably understand. I won the election by a single vote, so that was a lot to kind of take in. But at the end of the day, you gotta move on. You gotta get ready to take over and lead the school, and so I'm really excited to do that.
Nice. All right. So how do you feel about how the election week turned out? It seemed that everything was shutting down due to the COVID-19 right as voting started. Do you think that somehow might have impacted the election at all?
I think there's no way that it did not impact the election, right? So I definitely think that less people voted than they probably would have if the school was still in person by the time voting started. I also think it's important to kind of put those results into perspective, right? So in spite of this huge pandemic that's going on right now, we still had like the second highest turnout in the UMKC's like student government election history, like in the last 5 years, right? So 2019 was one of the highest turnout rates for our student body elections. But second place over the course of like the last 5 years was this year's. So I think that a lot of people were paying attention even in spite of the pandemic. I think that's a positive sign.
So as the next SGA president, what is something that you want to tell the student body?
I want to demonstrate through my actions and not my words that I'm committed to helping students. And so I guess if there's anything I wanted to tell them, it would just be to watch me and watch my conduct as student body president, and watch the things I'm advocating for, and determine for yourself if you think that's what's right.
Brandon, that concludes our interview today. Thank you so much for coming on. And we hope to see you on Rue News again some point.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, hopefully the federal government gets act together and we can be in person again soon. But
I hope so.
Conversation.
All right. Thank you.
All right. See y'all.
The closure of campus has caused lab, studio, and conservatory courses to rewrite their syllabi and change their class requirements. According to the Director of Undergraduate Curriculum in the School of Biological and Chemical Sciences, Dr. Aaron Reed, the changes will not affect the progress of student degrees. The changes of courses will vary, with some using lab software and others relying on pre-recorded videos. While in the conservatory, all ensembles, orchestras, and recitals are canceled. Students are being offered the option of taking an incomplete and then coming back to perform in the fall without penalty. In the wake of campus closing and turning classes completely virtual, UMKC administration has confirmed that they will refund 45% of the cost for parking permits, student activity fees, housing, and meal plans back to student accounts. Parking pass purchases after the February 21st will be refunded 100%, and housing discount will only apply to students who move out before April 3rd. Another concern is for student employees and their pay. The university pledged to work with student employees to ensure that they continue to be paid for the remainder of the semester. That's it for this week's top stories. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Rue News. I'm Abby Higginbotham, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Stay safe, Ruse.